Welcome to the Battlegrounds of the Gods. Whether you're new to Smite 2 or just looking to refine your skills, this video will get you started on your journey to becoming a divine champion. What is Smite 2? It's a third-person MOBA where players control gods, goddesses, and mythological figures in a 5 versus 5 combat. Now, there are other game modes, but we'll talk more about that later. But what makes this game unique is the fact that you can pick different gods to play, or mythological creatures. So you could play Zeus, you could play Odin, you could play Fjordur, the dog who brings Ragnarok. So there are 5 game modes. You have your bread and butter, Conquest, Next Arena, Joust, Slash, and Assault. So each game mode has the same objective. You basically push your minions across and you force them to kill the Phoenix, then the Titan. So as you're fighting, what we call is pushing your lane. You're pushing your minion soldiers or your ally to combat the enemy team. And as you do so, you gain XP. Now, how you do that was make the game unique. So depending on what game mode you're playing, you're gonna have roles assigned. Basically, solo lane, jungle, mid lane, support, carry, ADC, and then from there those guys are normally assigned to different roles. So you have warriors, mages, assassins, hunters, and guardians. So there's basically 5 god types: warriors, mage, assassins, hunters, and guardians. And some of them can be blended together. You might have a guardian that's a mage, a warrior that's an assassin, or etc. Things like that combination. Now, if you're a warrior, you normally are strength, but you can still have intellect as your damage base. Mage usually is intellect based. Assassins usually want to do crit damage, and they usually are what we call glass cannons. They hit hard and kill you, but they take longer to gain XP, so that's why they jungle. Hunters usually are people who use range attacks or auto hit, and guardians are basically your tanks. Now, these classes can mix and blend. You have hybrids, etc., but I don't want to overwhelm with the decision making. Just pick a god you like and go from there. Now, don't feel overwhelmed. It's kind of simple, and if you just want to learn the game and the basics of it, just do Joust, and as you do, you'll get more of the core mechanics of the game. And then you could try to play Conquest to learn different roles you could play. So if you do Joust, you could pick, hey, Zeus, learn how to use a mage, and he zaps, and you're good. And then after that, you can add, oh, I know how to use his abilities. I know how to read his cooldowns. I understand a little bit more. Let me see, can I modify his build? And then you go from there, and after you learn his build, oh, you know what, I think I kind of understand how to play a mage, and we try a different character and so on. Now, Joust is where I normally play most of my games, and that's where I learned most of the core mechanics before I moved on. And also, I did play Smite 1 way back in the day, and some of it has changed, but mostly the items, but the concept is still the same. So don't feel overwhelmed that you don't know too much. This game is not as hard as, say, maybe League of Legends to jump into, so don't feel overwhelmed with all the options. Just take your time, and everything will make sense with due time. So some of the core mechanics of the game is using your abilities and your ultimates. Now, each god has like stuff you have to manage. Your cooldowns, your timing, or you're gonna have a strength or intellect build, things of that nature. And briefly, I'm explaining some of the items because there's a whole guide you could do on certain builds. But luckily, this game offers like builds that's pre-made so they can auto does it. So later on, if you want a god, just let me know in the comment section. I'm just doing a brief rundown, not to overload anybody. So once you pick your items, potions, and your core items, then you start fighting and you use your abilities to go through there. Now, you want to learn the maps on each location and which lanes to go, and also one of the main things you need to learn how to do is ping. It helps everybody know where enemies are at. There's no one there. They might be trying to hide, to basically sneak attack you, things of that nature. And also, if you're new, there's something people will normally do you don't want to, and that's pushing. Don't push too far. What that means is if your minions are right in front of you and you're fighting behind them and you see the enemy player there, you don't mean you have to rush towards them. Just keep an eye on them. And as you attack the enemies in the lane and your line is pushing going forward, you just kind of monitor it and don't overextend. Now, if you have the enemy basically almost killed, then you might go for the kill. But some enemies have moves that could basically get them out of situations. They might be just baiting and they're telling their teammates, hey, this guy is pushing too far, and they will call it a yank, where the person will come behind or pause, come and basically assault you or hit you and stuff like that, jump you, whatever you want to call it, and kill you, and then they have advantage. Because there is a timer for when you die, and the more times you die and the longer the match goes, your timer increases. So it takes you longer to respond back. So that's why it's good not to just run into the team and get killed, because now you put your team in disadvantage. Alright, in this section, if you want to listen to it, I'm gonna go down each game mode and give a quick summary of the breakdown of them. Now, when you playing in basically Conquest, you're gonna be in 5 different modes or roles. Well, not 5, it could be mixed, but that's more in detail later. So right now you have what they call a solo lane, and then that'd be usually your tank, your bruiser. You have jungle, which is like your assassin, basically high damage dealing. They go and farm there, get resources and get stronger and cause chaos later. Then you have what they call mid lane. Usually is your mage or someone who can basically take care of lane themselves. Then you have support, guardian, and carrier or ADC slash hunter, and they're usually in the last lane. They can move around, but that is typically how the roles go. Now, why play Conquest? It's the most chess-like or strategic and competitive mode in the game. If you're aiming to be like play Smite 2 for a long time, this is where you need to play. Now, the next game mode is called Arena. It's basically team deathmatch. It's 5v5, and basically you deplete the enemy team tickets to 0 by killing the enemy gods, minions, or escorting your minions to the enemy portal. So if you just want to get started, play, and don't worry about too much, you could play 5v5 before you do the Conquest, which you need more team play. But for this mode, the map layout is like an open circular arena with no lanes or jungles. Buff caps are present for quick power-ups. So again, this mode you could just play straightforward, and it's fast paced, so it's more fun if you just want action. Now, one of the most best modes to get started and learn the game is Joust. So it's 3 versus 3, and your objective is to destroy the enemy's Team Phoenix and the Titan. And the map layout is a single lane with 1 tower and Phoenix per team. A small jungle on each side where you can kind of go and get buffs, etc., and keep on fighting. So reason why you should play this mode first getting started is it helps learn each lane. It's basically a short match, or should be short, with a smaller team size, and it helps you hone your skills and coordination, and also learn more of your, you want to say, the god or mythical creature you want to play. And then you have another mode called Assault. It's a random god selection 5v5, and you destroy the enemy Phoenix and Titan in a single lane map. Now this mode is unique because gods are assigned randomly, forcing players to adapt to different roles and playstyles. So if you're used to playing a certain mage and now all of a sudden you're a tank, yeah, so you better get used to it, which can happen in any game mode. So this is good for practicing, etc. If you just want to just randomly pick a god, don't know, and then get started. Now, I want to say this is the most popular mode, but it's still fun to play. Now, the last one is Slash, called like a hybrid mode. So it's still 5v5. You destroy the enemy towers, Phoenixes, and Titans. The map layout is more like a combined elements of siege, a 2-lane, and a jungle objective. Now, this is more of a mix of casual and strategic gameplay. So you get a little mixture of both without it being so set in one. And you can still do custom matches and practice mode if you just need to work on something, test a god, and if you want to test a build, which we're going to later. Smite 2 is all about the strategy and the teamwork and practice. Every game is a chance to improve, so don't forget some of the core rules as you're playing. Don't overextend your lane or over push, because you could get yanked, trapped, etc. Also, learn your god. Okay, if you decide to play Zeus, a mage, understand those mechanics, and you can use practice mode or go to Joust where it's more casual and learn that way. And then from there you'll build your confidence and you can try other game modes. Now, don't feel discouraged, just play the game, go out there and have fun. There's so many gods to play and practice, you might find something else appealing to you. Now, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about Smite 2. And if this guide was handy, don't forget to leave a like so I know I'm doing good. And if you want to see another build made by me, comment in the comment section. I'll go over a guide or some other mechanics you want. And with that said, peace.